order the Castle Park board Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. Everybody have a chance to look over March 2020 minutes?
Yeah, what's with the banner? Seems how I missed last one.
Oh.
What was what?
For the Save the Wall?
Oh, for the Save the Wall.
It's up on Main Street actually, is where it is now, up there, Old City Hall.
Okay.
But it was just a banner, I had it made for, the Dodge County Expo, and then they canceled that, of course, so
Oh, sure.
then I just asked to put it up in town, and
Oh, okay.
I was like, well, I
Well,
bought it.
swing
and
up
I
there
go,
and see what we've got. Great.
Alright, anything else?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Alright, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, minutes approved. Down to new business, Aquatic Center, 2020 season.
Well, the reason why we actually had this meeting tonight is because me and Tim actually talked about some of the stuff here. We were just gonna kinda wing it and have some discussion about it, about, what we can do or what we're gonna do or what we shouldn't do or whatever, I guess, as far as the aquatic center. First of all, our hands are tied, number one, with the Minnesota Department of Health and the governor. I mean, until they give us the okay, no matter what, we won't be open. And we know that, you guys have probably heard that Minneapolis and Coon Rapids and certain other park areas, whatever, or park departments have already closed their beaches, some of them, their pools, aquatic centers. And that's kind of the trend, I think, what, I don't wanna be the seer of doom, but I just got a bad feeling we could end up doing that too. My big thing is that when me and Tim talked, and I can have Tim talk here after I get done here, what his thoughts are, but, you know, we're gonna have to probably figure out a certain date when the last time would be well worth it for us to even open or open. There's gotta be some type of date, number one, because, the cost of getting it all started, the cost of ordering food, the cost of getting everything all put in there chemical-wise and stuff, getting it all heated up, it'll be an expense. And then, the next thing, that I wanna bring up is memberships. We are gonna probably, if we can't open Memorial Day weekend, then we're gonna have to suspend all the memberships and go to a daily pass. That's what I believe, because otherwise, we're trying to reimburse people, and we're trying to figure out when we could open and whatever, you know, I mean, something that we should really think about, is about maybe having no memberships this year and just go to a daily pass at $6, where we would have to get information out to the public on that and, put that out as much as we can. That's my personal feeling is, because, say we don't open till June 15th, just say for instance, that's already 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and it ain't fair for everybody to buy a family pass or an individual pass. You know, we're gonna have to make that decision, you know, sometime. And then, you know, like I say, the biggest thing is, and I'll let Tim talk here, but it's kind of how long can we wait, or when do we wanna wait, okay? My last thing that I heard from an ex-Park and Rec guy that retired over in Mankato, North Mankato's gonna wait until almost the end of July. They said if they get a month of swimming in, that's what they're gonna do.
The public would love that.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
And after
they're-
all of this,
after
they
this,
would love it.
they'll do anything.
Right.
You give them any sense of hope.
Right. So, I mean, there's things that, you know, we have to kind of think about or kind of decide, and go ahead, Tim.
Sure, no, I think you brought up a lot of good points, and, you know, we've had some conversations about it, and I've been tracking kind of what's going on with different cities, and you highlighted, you know, some of the biggest systems in the state are already shut down. So Hennepin County is completely shut down. Coon Rapids, that operates a financially viable, you know, that's one thing we look at, you know, we know that it's a service we provide to the community, and we lose money on it. You know, the Coon Rapids has their Bunker Bay Aquatic Center, which, you know, has 125,000 visitors a year and actually makes a profit for the city. They've closed it, which it's a tough thing. I mean, I'm so torn on this because, you know, we want to have this open. At the same time, if the state says, nope, you're not going to be open, I mean, a good point that Ronnie and I have talked about, let's say we could open up August first, how does that work for lifeguards? You know,
Yeah,
how
you
do
only
we
got a
do
couple
that? And that's a
weeks
big
left.
consideration is, one of the reasons figuring out when, and, you know, and if this is gonna open is giving these kids an opportunity to potentially apply somewhere else. And now, I think it's gonna be hard this year, period, for, especially for kids that aren't college age. Maybe your college age kids will find something, but for 16-year-olds or something like that, I don't know. Good, you know, good luck, depending on how fast it goes. But yeah, so, you know, like I said, it's kind of the crown jewel of our park system. But, you know, we're kind of being guided right now by the state, you know, and then looking at some of the other systems, you know. North Mankato's, sorry, Dan, just let me finish here.
Yeah.
North Mankato's a good example. They don't have the kind of facilities that we do. So for them to start up basically means they just turn the lights on. They've got a natural, you know, a natural pool there, you know, with Henniker Pond. They don't really have a big aquatic center. So they just take the ropes down and say, go ahead and swim. They don't have lifeguards, I mean, they just don't. So for us, I mean, that's not an apples to apples comparison because,
Right.
you know, I don't know. But sorry, go ahead, Dan, you were gonna say.
No, you were just bringing up the cities, that's a whole different population density though, you know, we gotta look at our density down here. We might, the state wants to open things differently, region to region, we might have a better chance of opening here. They might limit how many we can put in, instead of at capacity, we might be able to go half capacity. You know, we gotta look at it that way, but pushing out to August is too far, but I think we still gotta give the chance to try to open it if we can.
Well, I think, you know, Ron and I agree, we really wanna open it.
But
It's
you
just a
know,
matter of, you know,
I'm picking
what
a
is,
day or-
what is the date, you know, so I think you're looking at minimum 15 days to get it ready.
Yep.
Okay, so, you know, and maybe if we can't open on the, more, you know, if it's June 5th, that's probably still very, you know, viable. So if we can get things started on the 20th of May and get it fired up, and that first week of June when the kids would normally be done with school, I think that'd be fantastic. Now, you know, the 1st of July week, you know, 4th weekend, I don't know, that's tough,
That might
it's
be
mainly
about
because
your-
of staffing, you know.
Might be about your limit there.
Well, right, maybe that is your limit, right, you know, and the other thing, and this will be for the council to decide, so you guys don't have to worry about it, how much are you gonna be willing to lose? You know, 'cause, I mean, right now you're losing 50,000, or you're willing to lose 150,000. I don't know, that's not a question that I can answer, that's gonna be a council decision, so.
Have you talked to Rochester?
They
With
don't
their
have
pool?
any pools. They just have Silver Lake, just a regular pool, they don't have no
Oh,
aquatic center.
that's true. Stewartville.
Stewartville's they're waiting just like everybody else is.
That's true.
Fairbolt and all them, too, they're all just
I
sitting there.
talked to, over there, I talked to Mark over in Dodge Center, and he's same spot, he said, I'll just wait till the Department of Health makes a decision. You know, and they said the same thing, Mark did too, he says, we're gonna have to figure a date when we say, sorry, it ain't gonna open, you know.
Cause like you said, it's not fair to these kids that are hired on and then they find out they don't have a job after.
Well, yeah, and they understand that too, I mean,
And
to a
I've had
point, I mean,
emails,
but.
I've had emails from about 3 or 4 parents, and
Yeah.
they wanted to know, and I was very truthful to them. I said, if they have an opportunity to go find another job, let them go do and find another job. I mean, that it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't tell them that, you know, that, no, just hang in there, hang in there. You know, we do have 65 kids. We have a good supply of lifeguards, we have a good supply of WSIs, and we got 23, 25 concession people, so we do have a good supply of workers. If I end up losing 3, 4, 5 concession, or if I end up losing 3, 4, 5, 6 lifeguards, we'll just have to make do. I mean, that's just the way it is, and then maybe we have to adjust if we can't find anybody, and
Maybe
it's
change the
July
hours or
15th,
something?
we change our hours, or we do something different.
And then, you know, and part of it would be too, is if we're limited to the quantity of people we can allow in there at a time.
Yeah, the thing is that I look at it this way, and I understand that point, the social distancing is always gonna be there.
Yeah.
I don't care if this
Nope.
thing gets done May 4th.
But.
The problem
Yeah.
is, they have no research on this, and I've been looking at it, on that chlorine kills that virus. There's no research, there's no thing that it says it. So, to be 6 foot apart in an aquatic center in the water.
It ain't gonna happen, but that, see, that's another one of, you know, they're starting to open up, other than the states opening up, otherwise, they're starting to look at social distancing as, you know, they're narrowing that number down, what I've been
Yeah.
watching, they're,
Right.
so that, I think we're too early to jump on the boat, in my opinion, but you know, we need to think about.
Jump
picking a
off
date.
the boat.
Yeah.
Talk about
well,
the pool.
Because.
But you know what I'm saying, you know,
I do know what you mean.
A
I just
normal
think we
year-
need to-
Our normal year, we start putting water in the first week of May.
Mhm.
You know, we won't have another park board meeting, you know,
Right.
so that's the reason why we wanna see what we need to do. And
Well, I mean, you know, I would say, you know, we don't absolutely have to make a decision tonight either. You know, worst case scenario, we can certainly update you if the Department of Health does come down with something, and we can even call a special meeting, you know, earlier in the month as soon as we know definitively one way or the other, and that certainly is possible. You know, it's just a matter of, we wanted to get you in here to hear what your opinion was, and
Yep.
I know the council certainly values the opinion of all of the boards and commissions and things, so, 'cause it's a tough one. You know, I would love to say, yep, let's do it, but I've even thought, okay, can we open up part of the pool, like the wading pool or something, and just staff that just so the kids can go and splash around? I don't know, it's a hard summer. If there's not gonna be any baseball or softball, you know, I guess they're gonna have to learn, a lot of kids are gonna learn how to golf this summer maybe, I don't know. That's, it's a tough thing.
I think when it comes down to it though, if they say, okay, I would be more than happy just to let you make the call,
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't, don't
We gotta
worry
do
about us.
Yeah.
I
Right,
mean,
you guys
just
would know more than we
let
would,
us,
I think,
you know,
on that.
let us know if you can do it.
Sure.
Which would be fine, but I'd personally just say, you know, take
Yeah.
it.
I agree.
If you can.
And like I say, we, both me and Tim, we wanna open
Mhm.
all year, you know, I mean,
Right.
as you go through everything.
Oh, no.
But I think, like I say, I mean, the biggest thing is that if that Department of Health says yes, then it's an automatic, then no problem. But if they wait, just say they wait till end of June, or something like that, then we really gonna have to look at it and say,
Our biggest answer will become May 4th, if they extend the state shutdown, or if they start
Right.
opening parts of it up. We won't
Sure.
know nothing until
Well,
then.
we'll know more at the next meeting.
They'll be
That's how I look at it, but I think you're gonna have to have some answers of our direction before that. That's kinda why we're talking right here.
Yeah.
You know, you look at, if you say, let's take the July 4th weekend, or end of June. And you find out third week of June that we can open the pool. Or state says go for it. The month of July and the month of August, is that enough to, yes, we're gonna lose money. You're probably not gonna make money no matter what. If this goes beyond 3 weeks into, or 2 weeks into, let's not have it, we're gonna lose money.
You can lose it right away up front.
Look at what that's gonna do for the community to say, our pool's still opened up.
It'd be a really boost for your community.
You know, and that's kinda where you take the negative with the positive, and this positive will override the loss, because either way, we're gonna have a loss. You might as well mark that down
Yep.
in the books now.
Right.
Because
But
you're
if
gonna
you-
have probably half the parents saying, sorry, kid, you're not going to the pool because you still can contract, because we have family members that are,
Sure.
could be affected, so we'll find something else. So you're gonna get probably half of your pool patrons anyways. My personal opinion, but, I think reality-wise, that's the case. So you're gonna have half the staff in maybe 2/3 the time of running the pool, or 1/3 the time.
True.
So at what point do you take the community benefit, saying, we're not gonna let this bury us? We'll take the loss, that's, welcome to the pool. You know, nothing different than what happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, when we had more expenses in the pool repairs than we had in fees coming in, but, if the council willing to accept that, you've gotta remember you're doing it for the community. Not necessarily, we can't open because we can't make money. Well, I don't think that's gonna sit as well as.
Well, yeah, I guess I wasn't trying to indicate that, it's just a
No, I-
matter
and I
of
didn't
what's
think
an
it was that.
acceptable, you know, and you're talking about dates. So that's a fair point, because that was kinda my point, it's like, to me, if we could still have it open July 1st, you know, I feel like,
July
let's
5th
do
or
it.
July, you're right.
Right, let's do it, you know, we know we're gonna lose money, maybe we'll lose another 10 grand or something like that, but it is, the other nice thing is it'll be warm.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully, oh God, I hope it's warm in
But
July.
Warm and not
But if you
full of
get
rain
too
and
far
not full
out
of-
past that,
Yeah.
you're losing that chance of getting any.
And this is a case where when the people say it's July 15th, and then finally July 15th, they say, okay, go ahead, so now it's gonna be July 30th before you can open it up.
that's what I'm saying, we got.
Now we
gotta
can
make a
easily
decision.
explain to the people, like, we can't stick $30,000 into something that we're gonna make $5.
Well, how much, here's a good question, and I've even thought of this, you talk about the dynamics and the kind of community psyche, which is a good point. How much does it start, I mean, how much would it cost just to get it ready, even if we can't keep it open all summer, to do like a pool party in August? You know, just because we're saying, hey, you know, this really was a lousy summer, sorry, but it'd still be
Come
nice
on
to have
down
it,
and-
it would still be nice, I'd even do like a free day. You know, we'll take the loss on the lifeguards, whatever, I'll go down there and stand in the wading pool if we don't have enough lifeguards, I can handle the, 3-foot depths pretty well, I think. But I mean, I suggested that to staff here, they don't really like that idea.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, but I mean, I think that would be something I would love to see, even if we could just, you know, 'cause it is, it's just, you know, I
It's
can't.
gonna bring,
Well, I'm
that
sure
little
that day
bit
at
of-
least it's gonna be packed, because people will say, you know, this is special, let's try it.
Or
I don't
that
know.
week, it
That
may be a
week.
Right,
week
or
long.
like, yeah,
It's gonna
first
bring
week of
them
August
in
or
dry
something,
pool.
right.
it's gonna bring some
I mean,
extra,
do you have an idea, Ronnie, on what it costs to get up and ready?
without even concessions, just having the pool,
Just having the pool,
no concessions.
I would probably say, just to get the water at, pumps, heater, that's gotta be heated for at least 7 days. Probably 25,000.
I don't know, something to think about, you know, 'cause I thought about, it's like, you know, I'd even love to have like a community day, 'cause we probably aren't gonna have the county fair this year, and we're
Right.
probably not gonna have the city festival either. So it'd be nice to be able to go out and say, oh, let's throw the grills in the parking lot, and, you know, I just don't know what's gonna be possible, but I would love it just for the community to be able to say, yep, bring your grill down, make some brats up, and bring your kids over,
At
and.
least have the option.
I think as-
Something like that.
I think as long as the city council is willing to say, let's do this for a perk, it's nothing to do with the monetary.
Right.
Yep.
And show them that, you know, we can do this, it's just better, take the time to do it.
Mhm.
How do you staff it? I mean, that could be, who do you have left for lifeguards?
You've got your suit, Ronnie, right?
Yeah, well, that'll be the whole thing, is that, if we don't open in the month of May or June or July, you're gonna have trouble finding someone to work
Right.
in August.
Yeah, I know, the kids go back and they
But,
start doing.
but that's something that could be
Oh, they do the
determined.
camps, because if school starts up, they're in football, they're in all that.
Well, that's
Well,
something
I've heard
Well,
no fall sports.
There's
too,
no fall
so.
sports.
See,
So there'll be no
But
camp.
we're saying that, I'm saying that we're having fall sports. I'm saying that everything gets back to
Oh.
the
Normal.
normal. I still think we gotta have a date.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I'd say no,
sounded like you were thinking maybe July 1st.
that's what, yeah.
I agree with that,
Right.
because
And
no
later than.
no later than July 15th to start.
To be open.
And that's kinda where I say, you know,
To be
the
open.
opening of the pool for the kids to come swim would be July 15th.
Yeah,
Sure.
no later.
So, you know, if you can push your start date, it's like Apollo 13 says, you got, you know, we take a month, it's like, no, you got a week, get it ready.
Yeah, 'cause that'll give us, 'cause we weren't gonna close until August 26th this year anyway, 'cause the kids actually don't go back to school till after,
So I give you 6 weeks.
that can give us 6 weeks, which.
And you might get an
okay.
extra week based on who you have for staffing, it might be the
You
local.
can keep the college kids for
Right.
that
And
last
if you
week,
don't,
maybe up to
Yep.
Labor Day.
Right,
Yep.
it kinda depends on how long they can stay, 'cause they may not be going back early.
Right,
We just don't know.
No,
So-
but something to think of, that the
Yeah.
opportunity is there to keep it open,
Yep.
or to get it open.
right,
Yeah.
At what point do you say, we can't?
Yep.
And,
and there might be a basis that, like you said too, Dan, that we might have to really seriously look at maybe the concession, maybe we don't order that food.
Right,
That-
well, you're
that-
not gonna know off of past experience, you know, what did we.
That's a big money thing.
What
for
did
us.
we-
I know, but you know, see where I'm going here.
And if we don't have no food, then we have no, them 23 kids.
But if you're gonna be open for 6 weeks, we can.
Yeah, I mean, I
keep-
think if we can open 6 weeks, we would do the concession. My point was, if we just did like a festival in the park kind of day, you know, we
Then there
might
wouldn't
not
be-
worry about it, or maybe we just get pop, because
Oh.
that lasts a long time. I wouldn't expect us not to have it if you're open for 6 weeks.
6 weeks, I'm all fine with food.
Yeah.
It's just that little
One day.
community celebration, I'd say no food, just for cousins.
and that's
I
where
mean,
you-
I would want people, like you said, I'd love to say, bring your grill down, or maybe we do,
Yeah,
I don't know,
just
something
get
special.
Tailgating in the park.
Right.
Just use the pool, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Get a few
Well,
out there more, so.
I'll make a motion that, you know, with, like Greg said, no later than July 15th to open, if we can, with full pool concessions,
Okay.
all.
I'd
That-
say
that's
that's
my
a good
recommendation.
start, and then we'll see
And we'll have-
as it progresses, 'cause maybe the 20th, well.
Well, then it's, yeah.
You know, we still got plenty of time to act on that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're also gonna have to see, what do you have for lifeguards, WSIs?
Well, and that's the other thing, so, I
You know-
mean, Ronnie brought up that point, and, you know, he and I have talked about that, and I think the answer that he's given these parents so far is probably what I would tell them to continue telling them.
Mhm.
You know, is if they have an opportunity to get a farm job or
Yep.
something like that, then they're certainly welcome to do so. We don't hold them against it, we
No,
understand.
No.
The other question I'll have, because I know it's gonna come up, let's say we can open, And everybody that was hired this year, are they, if they want it next year, are they hired, or do they start, or we start?
Start off fresh.
Start off fresh?
They all gotta go be interviews and, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Cause I'm gonna lose
You'll
some
probably lose a
older
chunk
kids.
anyways, yeah.
Yep. Yep, so I gotta open everything all back up, and we gotta apply every year anyway, they do, no matter what.
Right.
Yep.
'Cause
So
you
the
know
ones,
the questions come.
the ones that did apply this year, you know, they won't have to have an interview,
Okay,
just the new ones that come in.
yeah,
Yep.
that's where, that's
Yep.
what I meant.
Yep, yep. Yep, they can just reapply. Yep.
Cause I know that question will come up.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing, you know, when do we choose to, so we did have a call, and this is the first call I've seen, so maybe the other ladies have gotten them, but we got a call about the passes. So the lady canceled, you know, asked to have her pass canceled, first, mostly because she got furloughed. And so now, I mean, she's gonna be home with the kids, so instead of having a babysitter take them to the pool, like, she'll be dealing with it. Plus, she got furloughed, so she doesn't really know what, financially what's gonna happen. So when do we make that choice on saying, hey, return the checks?
We
I mean,
don't-
Do we wait until that next meeting in May?
I think that's still plenty of time at that point, because we still may have, you know, we've been, just open 2 weeks late.
Right.
And at that point, we could still say this is still what we have.
A good deal, even
Yeah,
2 weeks.
yeah.
But anything after that,
Yeah, once we find out more, we'll know more by
More
about
than
8
that.
months from now.
But if they request their check back, I think we should give a pass.
Absolutely.
Oh,
That's
sure,
that
no,
way.
no questions
Yeah.
there, I mean, we would do that in a
Because
normal
there's gonna be,
case
there's gonna be
anyways.
hardship regardless, that's
Yeah.
Right.
affecting a lot of people, that's,
If she's gonna request it back, give it back, don't say, well, we're gonna wait for a couple weeks or
No.
something.
no, it's just for the other ones that we're, but we do wanna make sure we, if we're
Yep.
not doing it, we gotta put a note somewhere.
part of the
on
case
there.
is, say they keep calling and say, do we still buy a pass or do we wait? It's like, well, at this point,
I would wait.
I
you
would-
know,
but we-
tell them to wait, we're always gonna have daily,
Yep.
a daily fee.
As far as getting notice out, you know, we can do it via Facebook, we can
Yeah.
have it in utility bills, we can add that.
Just
to our
wanna remind
own
people that we're not
newsletter.
cashing your check right now, so
Exactly.
they ain't wondering why it ain't cashed, just so they know.
Right.
Most people probably understand, but some,
Right.
it's just a nice, quick
Mhm.
blurb on our website or something, just saying,
We'll add
hey.
that, we can add that to the utility billings and the mailers, so.
It just, people that, you know, it's gonna save you some phone calls.
Exactly.
Just kind of a thought, do we wanna keep the daily passes at the same price? Or if we get into that
Yeah.
situation where it's just later on in the season, just.
Yeah, they're all just.
I don't think we can go less.
We can't go less, we've changed it, and it's in.
You know, we still gotta, and people still say you still gotta pay the lifeguards and
Yep.
Yeah.
they just may not use it as much with the daily pass as they would otherwise, but I think people realize they're still have the opportunity to use a pool, which is again, a perk, if we get in that situation, so.
And like I say, this all can change if they open things
Yeah.
up and it says, hey, you know, open the pools up at the end of May, 1st of June, we're in good shape. Everything's just right
Yeah.
back to normal
So-
anyway.
The other thing we added this year, you know, I brought up about having your picture taken with your pass and all that. Do we wanna put that on hold right now if we haven't spent any money?
Yeah.
Just for the fact that,
Yeah.
one, we can't get that many people there for pictures, and two, we won't have the time.
Right.
So we just put it on hold until next season.
I would agree with that.
I do too.
It's just gonna be too hard
Yeah,
to,
well, anywhere we can,
and that's saving
honestly,
money.
save some cash, I mean, probably a good idea. It's not
Mhm.
not gonna be a crisis anyways if they're all using daily passes.
Right, yeah, see, and that's the
Not
other
gonna
thing, so
matter.
let's save our money and let's,
Yep. Yeah, we
That's
can
just
put
my
that off.
recommendation.
We can put that off, no problem. Okay.
I've got one last thing, Ronnie, before we move on, I see that's where
Yes.
you're going. I know you and I have talked about, the money we've looked at for resurfacing the slides. And that is another issue too, is, you know, I don't know if you've signed any contracts on that or anything yet.
No, I haven't really signed anything. I know that, he will be contacting me, you know, and, I'll just have to explain to him, you know, that, you know, funds are on hold, you know.
Well, I mean, either, you know, I guess the point I was making was, you know, if that's your perspective, then roger that. The other point would be is if we didn't open, would we wanna move that work up, because they're gonna be closed
Very
anyway.
much so.
Right.
It has to be done. That's a
Right.
valid point, what you're saying, Tim. It needs to be done.
Mhm.
You know, we need to get that, all them grooves taken care of. We need to paint all them features.
Fixtures,
Make sure they last.
Fixtures, that's right, 'cause they're all peeled off. We
Yep.
need to do the maintenance on it. And I agree with you, you know, I didn't know what the council's, you know, thought
Perspective on it
process
would
was,
be,
you know,
yeah.
for the money spending. But, you know, you're looking at, I think you're gonna look at probably $25,000 to get that done.
But if you push it off, next year it could be more.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, the other point about that would be, so if we don't open, which would be where we would move it up, I mean, we will have substantial cost savings on the aquatics facility anyway.
Right.
I mean, because we won't be looking at the utilities, we won't be looking at the staffing costs, you know, so, and then I would say you're not gonna lose any money.
Right.
By, if we, now, if we don't end up closing, you know, we'll have that expense later on, but that's because we opened up.
Right.
Which is the
Which
whole
is what
point,
we
which is the
want.
whole point anyways,
Yeah.
so, so I mean, I don't look at it as a bad thing if we end up having to, so I guess, you know, what Ronnie and I can do is we can determine that at the staff level. You know, if you guys are, just letting you know that may be something we do, we may just, if it ends up not opening, we may just move that up to the summer instead of doing it in September. Because we may be able to get a little bit of cost savings.
That's a good
Because I mean, these pool companies are gonna be desperate for work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, because a lot of towns, that one up in, Anoka, or not Anoka, Coon Rapids, one of the reasons part of the reason they decided to close it, because they were gonna remodel the thing anyway.
Yep.
And they were gonna spend 1.5 million to remodel it, so they put that off a whole year.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
that's a big contract for whoever was gonna do that work to lose.
Right.
So,
Yep.
It's a valid point. So, yeah, if we don't, if we make the decision, we don't open it, then I can schedule them guys, Weber Recreation, and them the guys are gonna do it out of Missouri that are gonna come up and then they'll take care of the painting and stuff.
Sure.
Okay, so, good point. Anything else on the pool?
So you made a motion?
Yeah, Dan made a motion, second by Greg, to open the pool no later than July 15th, start date.
Perfect, all right,
Does that
all in
sound
favor?
okay?
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds great, all in
Yep.
favor, say aye.
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 All right, and opposed? All right, motion carried.
and you can bring that to the council on tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can bring it up too, no big deal.
Is it on, yeah,
It's on the agenda, the park report, yep.
Yeah.
And that plan can change.
And it can change.
But there's a lot that we don't know, like I said, we may be a day or two off, saying, well, it's the 17th, we're open. No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's, right, we got a target, we got something down now.
Yeah, okay.
And you said it takes
Right.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
2 weeks
probably
minimum.
2 weeks, yeah, probably about, a good 10 to 13 days probably, I'd say, to get it all warmed up and get the chemical mixed and circulated and everything else, yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah,
Yep.
'cause we won't leave it empty until then, obviously.
Right, yeah, we won't, yeah, and we gotta leave that water in the basin of the pool because of the pressure, the hydrostatic pressure, so we can't drain the pool ahead of
Mhm.
time and just leave it undrained and then just throw water in it, we can't do that. So that, on the big pool, that has to stay in there until the day we clean it out, start putting water back in it, so just to let you know on that.
Sure.
Okay?
And there's a few other things I'll talk to you about too, in terms of other things, we can do that later.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, adult softball?
Kind of the same situation. I talked to Perry, Coons over there, he's our, league, commissioner for all of our adult softballs, and they pretty much run the state softball programs. They did hold, Zoom online, umpire clinics, so the umpires did get sanctioned and went through all their training, so that's a good positive, so he got that done. But until the state allows us to play anything, or at least get out on the fields or whatever, then we're kinda on hold on that same thing. So I just got a feeling once, I think, if Major League Baseball ever gets put back at the Target Field, then we're gonna be okay to be able to play softball. But it's kinda up for grabs. We usually start our season, of course, usually the first week in May, and our season runs till the middle of August. So, I feel that we still, to be able to run a decent league till about the first week in June. Okay, so that'd be about 4 weeks. So I'm saying, if anything, I feel if anything is past June, or, then, because what happens is that, I just look at the schools again, there's a lot of teachers that play softball, they start getting back, getting ready for school. People are missing paid players on their teams, and they don't have enough team members, and we went through that, and you don't wanna go through forfeits, okay? So that's where we're gonna have to handle it some way. That way in June, if I went to the middle, we'd have a good, 6 weeks again, of that 7 weeks, and we might only have maybe 8 teams this year. I might even be able to throw a doubleheader in there to maybe possibly get maybe some more games for them, so they get that 10-game season, 12-game season. So that'll be something that I'll have to work on, but once we get the okay, then we'll go from there.
So on this, are we gonna hold off of putting any lime down and?
That's all done in the fall. We're all
Right.
ready to go. I put all that in last year. It's all the edges. All we have to do is drag the field, put the bases in, and we're set to go.
So you're just gonna hold off, though, you're not gonna drag fields or?
Yep, we're gonna do all the maintenance on our fields. Yep.
Still gonna do it no matter what?
Yeah, we gotta drag it at least twice a week. If we don't drag the fields and the rain hits in it, they turn like rock. It's gotta be worked up. We gotta mow the grass, we're gonna have to fertilize it, we have to aerate it, so our park maintenance and all of our stuff in our fields are still gonna be the same. I got that all budgeted, everything is all budgeted, and they're gonna get sprayed for broadleaf because of dandelions, that's coming up here in May. I signed a contract with Gibbs this year, and, now next year will be different because we did purchase that, Easy sprayer, that fertilizer, liquid fertilizer sprayer with the school district and the city of Manorville through the joint ventures. And I got 5 guys gonna be getting their, applicator's license sometime this year, so then we can go and spray our own fields and be legal, so.
One thing that Ronnie and I did talk about was if they're not being utilized for league, it'll change a little bit. We probably won't have to mow quite as often.
That's what I was just gonna ask, do we
Yeah.
mow less just for the fact that it isn't gonna matter? I mean, you gotta mow a certain height, but.
Yeah, we keep it at the highest level. We keep it at about 3 3/4 to 4 inches on our fields because we have no watering system. If we had irrigation, then that's a whole different story. We could cut it shorter and we could probably get by with it and sprinkle it and let it grow a little bit. But once we get the months of July, if we mow it too short, then the weeds will
Right.
start popping up.
I was just wondering if you
So-
delay mowing as much as we can, just to
We usually
save-
mow our fields on a Monday and a Thursday, twice a week, no matter what. That's pretty much how we have to keep it. So otherwise, if we do allow them to go once a week, then you mow them and the height's up high, then you got all that dead clump grass on top, and then we gotta rake it all. So, we have to be careful, and we gotta kinda keep them kinda somewhat groomed up, you know.
We will look for savings wherever we can though, I know that's
Right.
for sure, so.
Right. And it'll be that, you know, we might, instead of fertilizing 4 times this year, we might fertilize maybe twice or something, and make it slow down a little bit, so.
I was just curious, you know,
Yep.
just thinking,
Mhm.
that's why I have to ask, 'cause I don't do it.
Yep, exactly.
So say, okay, so we can't, you're not gonna play ball or anything, is there anything that you'll have to do, or you think you'll have to do to close that up so nobody
Well,
unorganized?
we'll leave the
people-
bases and the pitching rubbers off the field. We won't put
Okay.
any bases on, okay? If someone comes there on a weekend or someone comes there at night and they wanna pick up ball, there's not much I can really do about
Okay.
that, 'cause the parks are open.
Yeah.
It's just that there's a,
'Cause even our playground
team
bodies are
shows up
open
though,
now, right, Tim?
of more than
Yeah.
so many
Yeah,
people.
they're open, so, I mean, there's not much I can do about that.
Okay.
So, but I won't have no bases, I won't.
Can I ask why
supply-
you wouldn't put bases out? It's
Because-
still a park, it's still a ball field.
It's still a ball field, but then I know what's gonna happen, is that players and teams are gonna get, and then they're gonna start
And
playing.
then now you have to police it and ask them to leave because
Exactly.
they're over 10 people.
That's right.
If it's not to where you have to have a group of 10 or more and they've released that ban.
Then we can look at it.
Well, yeah, once they release the thing, I mean, that's no problem.
Then you can
have-
Our
Then the base
league,
will be there.
our league
At
will
this
go
Then
back.
the league will play.
Our league will go back.
I think that'll still have some issues though, I don't know, I don't think they're gonna get rid of the large group. You know, I mean, realistically, even with Major League Baseball, they've talked with them playing with just the teams
Mm-hmm.
and nobody in the stands. Cause I don't know how that'll work, let's say the league can play and people can be there, but nobody can sit in the bleachers. I know, we don't know how it's all gonna work.
Well, how I look at it is like, I'd rather see the bases there, because it's still a ballpark, you're still mowing it, you're still dragging it. Why would you not put bases down now? You have to let the people police themselves, you can't be the judge, jury, and executioner just because I put bases there, now you're inviting teams. They still know their social distancing, they still know what they gotta do.
Yeah, but you get a family on a weekend and you get, say, 25 people there and they're gonna play a softball game and then they're gonna sit there and then they're in the dugouts and they're high-fiving each other and they're not practicing
So?
social
It's,
distancing.
well, I mean, I think the
We're
problem
promoting
is, in the long run, the city council's the one that's liable for this.
Yeah.
You know, and I could talk to them blue in the face, and I mean, I loved it, I wanted to open this.
So you're saying the city is liable because they
Well,
put
in a
bases
way,
down?
I mean, here's the
Anyway.
thing, I mean, how many calls are the city council members gonna wanna get from residents in the community that are saying, why are you letting people do this?
Well, and it'll be the police department getting them too.
I
Right,
got-
'cause
I
they're the
got
ones who are
2
gonna have to go and
calls
break it
about
up.
The skate park, somebody skating over there. I've gotten 3 calls already.
Well, okay, well, if it's something that,
Yeah.
you know, the city becomes liable for putting bases down, but then I would say you don't mow one of the fields.
Oh, I
or you
gotta-
don't mow either field,
I
if you don't want them to play,
I gotta mow it.
But
I
then,
can't let
if
that
you can't, if you
fall
don't
apart.
mow it, he's saying you're gonna
I know.
ruin it.
Yeah,
It'll
you
be a
will.
mess.
It'll be
I
a
guess
mess.
if it becomes a legal thing to put bases in, it's one thing, but if it's not a legal thing, you know,
Well, the
you
school
have
is-
to.
The school is lucky, 'cause they can put gates and they got all chains and.
Yeah, but you
they
can go
gauge
around the
everything
fence
all
at the
up.
school, cause they already have.
Yeah, but, you know, they
But-
locked everything at the.
I mean, I think in the fullness of time, we're gonna try and open it up as much as we can legally.
Of course.
And if that becomes a situation where they say, yep, you can let it roll, then we're gonna do everything we can. And I'm not saying that, I would love it, you know, go play catch with your buddies or whatever, that's fine. I don't know that makes a lot of sense for it if they're not supposed to be there in bigger groups, I don't know that makes a lot of sense to encourage it more than you have. I don't know.
Right.
You know, this is all new, but I don't think Governor Walz, just seeing what's happened this year, until there's a vaccine, I don't think there's gonna be any, you know, larger groups, I don't think, you know, it just doesn't seem realistic. He's been very restricted. I mean, you go down to Iowa, you go to South Dakota, I was over there this last weekend, and there's everybody's there, you know, they're all over the place. You know, Sioux Falls is packed. And most of them are from Minnesota, because they can't do anything here in Minnesota, so.
And then like Rochester, a lot of them, they took all the rims off their basketball
Right,
hoops.
they changed everything up, yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
I mean, I
Bring your own
appreciate it,
bases,
and
I
if we
guess,
can do it,
and-
we're gonna do as much as we can. That's the honest truth of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
But I think, like I say, it all comes down to if they open things up, like Tim says, and Binkley will be the first one to get the bases out there, I'll be the first one to get the ball stuff going, and away we go.
And that's my point, if they open it up, it may say it becomes a group of 30, well, it's not a group of 10, so 9 players on a team, that's all
Then
you
it's
need,
different.
so do it.
Right.
But that's a whole different
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
scenario, the scenario we got right
Yeah,
now.
if they keep the 10 or less, that I do understand, but I'm just saying, don't say, no, we're not putting bases down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Boulevard Tree Planting Program.
Good thing happened, I got ahold of our guy, Todd, down there at Treehouse, and, he does have the stock on hand, and, we will proceed with the Boulevard Tree Planting Program, which is good. We have 20 residents, that have ordered, and we're gonna probably plant around 35 to 40 trees, which is good. We're looking at probably at the end of May, maybe the first week of June. Todd didn't wanna get anything later than that. So, but he's just waiting for me to, give him the complete list, and I gotta go meet with the homeowners, which I will next week, and I'll measure up the boulevards, get him the list, and then he's got everything up to date, so we should be okay up with the Boulevard Tree Planting Program. Now, cost-wise, you know, we budget that every year, but, you know, roughly I'm thinking it's gonna cost the city maybe between $2,000 to $3,000 to put in the boulevard trees that they've ordered. Just to let you know that. So, any questions on that? Okay, good.
All right, 2020 Arbor Day.
Yep, me and Tim talked about this, you know, they did cancel, the National Arbor Day Foundation did cancel Arbor Day, just to let everybody know.
Okay.
On the last Friday of April. Now, they left it up to all the states, all the forestry departments to figure out if they wanna have an Arbor Day celebration, they can. If they wanna move it out to fall, they can, whatever suits your community, you can do it. Well, me and Tim talked, and Tim come up with a good idea that we still should probably proceed to have that. And, we talked around about May 8th, that's kinda where it was, so we're figuring, I think we should have it, it's on a Friday,
Okay.
10 o'clock. And it's gonna be up at the East Diamond Park. We're gonna continue around that loop on 11th there to put in 2 trees. That's what we normally do. I will contact the DCI, and if I could have you, Chuck, get a
I
hold
will.
of Lane and then the Lions members to come that day.
Good.
We'll practice our social distancing, of course, but we still should have the ceremony, and
Sure.
then we're eligible for the Tree City USA program.
Now, we wanna keep that going, I think.
Yes.
And also, I mean, I try to stress that we want things to be as normal as possible. You know, we could still do this Arbor Day, I think people have kinda got in this emergency mode, and now it's like, I want this return to normalcy if we can, you know?
Mhm.
So, as long as the mayor cooperates, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, everybody's invited up there, it'll be at the East Diamond Park, and, if you wanna come at 10, it's on a Friday morning at 10 o'clock, it usually only goes about a half hour, of course. We'll get a picture, we'll have the Tree City USA, as a matter of fact, we got, talking about this, that's a good thing, I just thought of this, I didn't put it on the agenda, but since we're talking about this, we got brand new National Arbor Day signs to go out on the roads. Remember we had ours stolen, remember, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, Tree City USA
Yep.
signs? We got brand new ones, cause it was our 40th year, okay? So, what I want to do, where I was gonna check with the council, because I know Dwayne had a lot to do with it, of getting them cement signs out on the Highway 14, that says, "Welcome to Casa." I would like to put in 2 posts and put the signs out by them signs that out there, not on the highway, cause it's not on the right of way. It's a sign, entering Casa.
So you're thinking of putting underneath the concrete?
Underneath it or on the side of it, just a little bit on the side, wherever is the deal, because they're pretty good size, they're pretty good size signs. I mean, they're not as big as that, them there, but.
I think it'd be
it's
kinda neat if we could put it underneath, and, because then we could put the other city organizations on there. You go to a lot of towns, and they've got like the Kiwanis emblem, they've got the Lions, they've got the Eagles
Hanging.
Club. Kinda like underneath, I think if we could throw that underneath, and then see if some of the other groups wanted to get their
Yeah,
sign out, I think that'd be great.
whatever you guys
I
wanna
mean, they're
do.
big, those concrete pilings are pretty big, so.
Yeah, they're big. I don't know if we wanna drill into the cement, though, I wonder if we should just put signs, I don't know,
Or just put them on post,
that's what I meant.
yeah.
You could actually just put one tall frame and then start hanging
I was gonna
them.
say, we
Like
could,
it
we
used
could
to be
take a
on
look, if we did
57.
like
Yeah.
a metal frame under, kinda, so it doesn't restrict the city of Casson,
Correct.
but there could be something else we could put those on.
Okay.
We could take a look at those, I have to
Yeah.
look at them up close anyway, so.
Right, yeah, and they're nice, they'll have the 40 years on there, and that way, the state ain't gonna be able to take them from us.
Mhm.
Because I honestly, I don't mean to say this, but I think that's what happened on our population signs.
Probably.
You know,
Yeah. 'Cause
and
they didn't follow
they're
the-
gone, and so these are new signs, and it's good that we're 40 years. Of course, Austin's the only one in southeast Minnesota that's longer than us, they got 41 years and we're 40. And if I'm not mistaken, there's one, I think it's Litchfield, is like 43 years, and we're second in the whole state for the being consecutive Tree City USA's. So we've accomplished a lot by keeping up our Tree City USA, so I'll get together with Tim, we'll figure something out, go out there, maybe we'll drive out there and take a look.
Take a look
at it.
and just kinda measure it out and see what we can make
See
work.
what we
Yep,
can do.
no, that sounds great.
So does that sound okay?
Right into
Everybody
Venice.
Yeah,
do that?
just review different
You
options.
gotta ride into Venice.
Okay.
I don't know if
We'll
I'd,
see. We'll see.
I'd
Depends
necessarily
who
wanna
wants
get
to
into,
do it.
start posting Kiwanis, the Lions and stuff like that, 'cause clubs clubs go.
Yeah,
Well, you could always take it down if they go.
yeah.
I don't know, I just think a lot of communities do it and serve a sense of pride for them, I don't know.
But
Just
a lot
thought
of
I
that would
had.
be as they're coming into town, is where they wanna be more recognized, and that's where, kinda like where you're trimming today up by the post office, that's where they used to be. Lions Club,
Well, they did, that one,
Oh,
okay.
you know,
Well, we
so
put
now that
the
you're in
sign-
town, you see what organizations are there. You're going
Yeah.
too fast to see the stuff on the highway.
Sure, well, it's just a
So,
thought.
that'd be my suggestion, something like that, like you're saying, do in town, the Tree City, we want to let everybody just driving by, says, oh, look at their Tree City USA.
Sure.
City is different than the organizations within the city, in my opinion.
Yeah, whatever we do,
Yep.
we'll take a look at that
Yep.
sign out there, and I'll show Tim the size of it, it's a pretty good sized sign.
Sure.
It is, so we'll go from there. Anything else on Arbor Day? Any questions on that then? So, remember May 8th, okay?
Alright,
Yep.
alright, down to old business, Veterans Park stone wall update.
Yep, actually Dan can kinda give a little briefing on this. I know John had left a message for me that he was gonna get a mason, to come over and look at the wall, and he did on Saturday and found Dan. And they all went and looked at the wall, and I don't know if that was the one that come out of quarantine, did he say?
Yes, he came out of quarantine, he came back from England, so he was in quarantine for 14 days. And he lives in the cities, he does a lot of work for Decorah, Iowa. There's his brochure, it's got his contact information on it, some of the things he's done. From him looking at it, just walking by looking at it, he thinks it's savable. John Olive offered to donate him all the limestone that he wants, for free to the wall. I said, go through it, take pictures, look at it, get us information, and we'll go from there. I said, until he had no idea pricing yet, and so he's supposed to be getting us something. I was hoping to have it by today, but I knew that was gonna be kinda short notice, being it was Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's.
he seemed optimistic, and
Did he? Well, that's good.
he was, and he lives to do that kind of work, he said. He's,
So where does he live again?
lives in, Twin Cities somewhere,
He lives in the Twin Cities.
but he goes to England for
Okay.
a couple, 3, I don't know how long he's over, I didn't ask him, we didn't.
Wow.
But then he spends most of his summer down in Decorah, Iowa, doing all their limestone work.
Willerini, Minnesota.
Oh, Willerny?
Willerny.
Yeah, just east of White Bear Lake.
Okay.
Kinda up there by White Bear Lake.
Big city, I take it.
Willerny, I think it's like one of the small suburbs. Lilydale and Willerny are the two, like, 300 population suburbs up there in the metro. So my brother lives in White Bear, so I kinda drive past it with the.
So,
Hmm.
he seemed really optimistic, and
Good.
he said he works with another guy, so between, he'd get us a price, and between the two of them, they could do it. They're tuck point masters, and he said, but you definitely gotta take a bunch of that back out, it's wrong, and put in new stone.
So they realize things gotta change to make it right in that case, so they.
And I did tell him, flat out, when I was talking to him, I said, without a price, even with a price, we don't know where we're at. I mean, we still have to find funds for it, be it donations, or said, with things, so, and he totally understood, and that's when John said he'd donate all
The limestone.
the limestone he wanted. He was gonna take him and go show him the limestone after we met. So that was
That's good.
reassuring that somebody was
Sure.
making the step up, and that was one of the names that we were
Mm-hmm.
to contact, and we just hadn't heard back from him, and then.
Well, when we get that information, we'll definitely take a look, so appreciate that, Dan.
Yep,
Thanks so much.
thanks for being
So,
here.
it just happened to be one of those
And then
that was
can we
available.
check into writing a grant for that?
Well, you certainly can, yeah.
That'd be worth it, I think.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I just to make sure we have apples to apples in our report sign. That'd be the trick.
Yeah.
Make sure, it sounds like he said he would write something up that's pretty thorough, so that's good.
Yeah, he said he was detail it, and
Detail it out.
I hope, and it's hard when you're talking to somebody in the middle of the street.
Yeah, no doubt.
And, you don't always think of the questions to ask, and then, so I thought once we got that, then we'd have more time to look at it and then call them and ask them
Yeah.
more questions too.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, down to park projects, 2020.
Park projects, well, we got, we'll see what all park projects are gonna be this year. Number one is maintaining, of course, all of our properties, of course. We got a playground modular that's kinda still yet, we'll have to see, we paid $15,000 last year in the budget.
Okay, thanks.
It's a two-phase project. I got a quote from Weber Recreation for another $8,000 to finish it, so we're looking at about $24,000 to complete that second, or that module out to Meadowland Park. And, I'll talk with Tim and figure out what the council wants to do as far as spending money on that, to see if we can get that this year. If not, well, then we'll just have to maybe hold it, whatever, for another year. And I'll have to talk to, Jay Weber over there too. He's the same gentleman, same companies that are doing our aquatic center.
And maybe he'd be
slides.
reasonable about that then too, I would think.
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah. So that's one project, so what, we also are doing a picnic shelter there, right by the playground modular. All that material was purchased last year. We got that all pretty much done except for the cement, and I think the cement, I got a call into Sheldon and, see about how much it would be charged to do the cement floor, which I'm sure is pretty minimal, 'cause it ain't gonna be that big a size of a picnic shelter, enough for like 4 tables to set underneath there, so. So I'll get that all quoted from him, and then, but all of our material as far as the posts, as far as the roofing, the steel roofing, all that stuff, we got all that stuff already. So it's just setting down to ABC They stored it for us this winter, so I didn't have to sit outside.
Are you
So-
putting that together yourselves?
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
build it
internally?
ourselves, yep, yep, so, we'll get that done for sure. We have two park signs, one that goes at Meadowland Park and another one that goes up to Casson J. Hyde Park, the library. We'll be putting them in, Abel's has got them all done already, we just need to get them put in, get locates, get them, cemented in and get that done. As you noticed down there too, by the new message board that we put in down there, we cut all them old ashes, there's 5 ash trees that they were all infested with emerald ash borer. We cut them down today, along with doing all the boulevard tree maintenance. As you can see, we were cutting on that. But that really opened it up nice, and we're gonna be doing a little, landscaping project. They had some brick around there, and we're gonna be doing a little bit around there. That'll be another project that we'll do to kinda make that look nice.
Are you burning those, Ronnie?
What's that?
You're gonna burn those then?
Yep, that's all up to our
Okay.
pile, yep.
All right,
Yep.
make sure we don't have any issues with spreading or anything.
Spray, yep, we
Yeah.
burn it all out there to our pile, so that's all will be done. So we're gonna do that, and then, what we'd like to do too, is to be on top of it, is to maybe do something up at, Lions Park and figure something out with a flagpole yet, remember? That was another project. It'll be probably minimal for money-wise to get that done, and, do something up there and put a flag up there so we can fly our Tree City USA flag, and, get that in tune with some little landscaping around that. We put that off now for, about 3 years, whatever, so we'd like to get that going. And then, besides that, that's kinda what we're at right now as far as projects. We didn't, have a lot of money put in. I'd like to get a new backstop, of course, at North Two that we put money in the budget to do, but that wasn't gonna get done till this fall. So I'll contact, see how everything looks money-wise in the fall, 'cause I think, the joint ventures is gonna pay for quite a bit of that, to put a new backstop on in North Two. We got yellow tiling that's gonna go up and around North Two ball field fence. We put a new fence in last year, of course, in the fall. We'll put that safety tile up there and get that put in there, to make that look nice. And then, the last thing was, I had it in my mind here too. Oh, we're gonna plant some more trees. Possibly working with, maybe Jason Wilkers possibly out there, and plant some more trees down at Lions Park, for the Frisbee golf thing. And towards that, we'll probably do that in the fall sometime, and get that done. So, other than that, we got 45 stumps to grind out from this winter. We did a lot of tree work, and put dirt and all that stuff. The city tore down 2 houses, the old Grant property, and then the house out there right by the school. We'll be doing a little, touch-up dirt work and reseeding some grass seed in them areas, and get that taken care of this summer too, so we can get some grass to grow in them areas for a little bit to make it look decent. And other than that, we did get our, roof put on, just to let everybody know at the maintenance shed, looks nice. Payment went out to, Preem Builders, and so we got that all taken care of, so the park maintenance shop is got all new steel roof, that's all done. So I'll just let you know on that. And other than that, we'll go for whatever, you know. We didn't have a lot of projects put in there this year. 25,000, a member of our 55,000, or 30, I think it's 25 or 30, member went to that, our new, utility tractor. We're gonna have that set aside for this year, and then hopefully get another 25 to purchase it next year, in 2021, and at the end, I'll just have to see what the funds will be.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know Ronnie and I have talked about projects for next year too, so that's something else I'd ask you to just be game planning on. You know, there are a few things, pickleball is one of them. I know that's popular with the boomer population, and he and I have talked a little bit about that. We had a pretty substantial pickleball cohort when I was over in Blue Earth, and, so just things that you're interested in. Obviously, it all comes down to what the financial situation looks like, but, we wanna make sure that our parks continue to be the jewel that they are in our city, so.
So yeah, we'll bring stuff back in July. We usually try to figure out projects for the next coming year before our budget, you know, so come comes July, we'll be talking about that and putting something together, so. Okay, let the Lions know about that too, what
Yeah.
Tim said, 'cause I know they really would love to have 1 or 2 courts down there at Lions Park,
Yep.
so let
Did
them
you,
know.
and I know I asked you this before, but you had a chance for, just for a round figure, how much one of those would cost?
Well, I mean, the biggest cost is the base.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
like a tennis court.
So, right,
It doesn't necessarily have to be as big a tennis court,
Right.
although, you know, that would be one idea, with putting like 1 tennis court and then 4 pickleball courts on that. You know, that way it could be used for tennis or for pickleball. But if you went with, I don't know how much it costs for the concrete, I went over and looked at it. You know, you've got that skate park there, and you could probably get 2 pickleball courts on that. So I don't know what you guys spent on, you probably know better than I do what they spent on the concrete there, how much that cost.
On the concrete, that was like 55 or 65,000.
Okay, you know, the thought that I had with Ronnie was we might look at making it a bituminous surface, so that we can piggyback on one of the regular street projects, and just have them like pave, because it doesn't, honestly, the concrete is heavy duty. You know, you could do a 2-inch, you know, overlay of bituminous, and then just put it on a surface, like a colored surface on that, like a tennis court surface, green or red or whatever you wanna use. And I think that would be quite a bit less expensive than the concrete was.
Cause we can get it all leveled off, we got all the pieces of equipment to do that, so we could save a lot of money as far as getting it all prepped. And I did look at, I think the pickleball court is 36 by 64, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
That's 1 court, so that'd be the size of the pickleball court, just 1 court, so just to let you know on that.
Okay.
And we could also talk to Brandon and see what a 2-inch square area, what would probably give us an idea what it would cost.
Yeah, well, we can get a per square foot, which is what we'll do.
Mhm.
It'll be a per square foot cost by bituminous.
Yep.
And that can give us a pretty good price for the base. I think whatever goes on top of that isn't gonna be tremendously substantial, but the base itself is and that is a low area too, so we're gonna have to build it up, but like Ronnie said, a lot of that we can do in-house.
Yep.
You know, building up the surface, so it's not gonna be, we don't have to worry about the underlying water. and
Water,
stuff.
yep.
Yeah, there's a couple lines who are really big.
I don't know, it was just really big, you know, we ended up putting on, I don't know, 15 pickleball, cause we had 6 plex for tennis courts, and we just threw
Did you?
pickleball and the indoor one we had at the fitness center there was built up, you know, nobody really wanted to go outside, but they wanted the courts, but then if they could go and play inside the one, they would do that one instead of the outside one. Anyway, just think about it, I mean, I think it is, I mean, it's probably a fad.
well, we've been talking about that for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
It's a matter of trying to find where to put it, on what court. The
Yeah,
tennis
what
court up by
area.
the pool is shot, so it's, how do you try to do something with that without trying to fix that court as well? Still.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that court get fixed, would be my preference, you know, and I know that, like I said, it's all expense, because if your base is shot, then you're gonna have to do something about tearing a lot of that out and then putting it on there again. Like you said, what's the best place? I mean, we know the Lions
Well,
Park has
two
space, which
places.
is one, what's
Well,
that?
And you got a lot of seniors that are down
Sure,
on the southeast.
the townhomes there and stuff,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, I mean, although I love pickleball, it's fun, I mean, it isn't just seniors that like it, it's a fun sport for everybody, but,
That is.
but definitely is more popular with the
So-
seniors, so.
But we still have to have the money to be able to do it.
Exactly, and that's the thing,
Yeah,
right.
and that's,
Money.
I know.
Cabs and they got money.
yeah, I haven't said anything about the board
Yeah.
recommendation yet, so.
I wish we could do it all, but yeah, I mean, prioritizing, what are your guys' priorities? So as we get closer, we'll just continue to talk about that,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, that's kinda what I have. Anybody else got anything?
I did forget to say that, I know that CARE was given $5,000 towards the wall. That is a donation, but it is a stipulation that if the wall doesn't stay, the money stays with CARE.
Oh,
So,
okay.
that's something I heard, I guess I told Tim a long time
Sure.
ago, and we,
Well, and I certainly think, you know, whatever the final solution is here, you know, we're not gonna try and take the money if it doesn't end up staying. So, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
assurance I can give you is, you know.
yeah, that was their stipulation.
Sure.
Whoever donated that, I don't know, but
Okay.
that's what I was told,
Okay.
so.
I didn't even know CARE still existed.
Anything else?
All right, anything else? Next meeting would be May 19th.
If necessary, we may ask to move it up a little bit,
Sounds good.
you know, depending on how it goes. Even if just like a week maybe or something like
Yeah.
that, so.
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good. All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 No opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, you bet.
guys.
Here's sign, I was till 8:30 last night, with planning commission, and I got this, I'm like, we're out here at 7, it was great, 'cause I got that one tomorrow, so.
I know.
That's probably gonna be a long one, too.
That's been quiet
lately,
Yeah.
Thursday's
I think the work session should be pretty